Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to our new show here on Creative Society. And today I have my beautiful co-host Olga with me, and of course our amazing guests. So today we have JARRELL, PYRO Johnson, a good friend of mine. He's an artist, he's into stock market, he's into movies, he's doing a lot of stuff. JARRELL, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great to see you.
It's a great honor. And all the way from Detroit, Michigan, we have here Jason with us. Jason, welcome to our new format, and thank you.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
So today we're gonna play it a little bit different from our usual shows. We're gonna watch some reactions with you. We're gonna watch some videos which been popping up on mostly TikTok or all over the network, going viral, and those gonna be really, really interesting because you get to see stuff that you don't see on TV, you don't hear about that much often, but it exists in our world. Technologies, problems, and solutions. And before we kick it off, JARRELL, I would like you to say a couple of words about yourself, and I know you are very much inspired about the society, and your music has been the voice of inspiration. It's been your way to express how much you're passionate about the positive changes in the society.
Right. So, I mean, a little bit about me is I hail from Compton, California, originally. In Compton, California, we had this stigma of living this gangster life, I guess you would say. But a lot of in my discovery of life and myself, a lot of this gangster society is stemmed from not having the family unit, not coming from having being able to reach a goal. A lot of people in where I'm from, in my time zone, in my era, felt like they had to turn to negativity and the streets and bad life to get somewhere of success to them. It might have been not what the idea of success is, but to them it's success. So even if that means, hurting someone or robbing someone or stealing something, that's success to them. So me personally right now, I started there. I'm currently in Black Panther 2, the new movie coming out November 11. So as I've reached my goal, or as I'm reaching my goals, I decided my way to give back to the community is do it through music and do it through songs in a way that can relate to people that were in my same situation that can hear it. So what I do is I always try to throw inspiration and motivation on how to overcome, the negativity of not having a family unit or not having ways for you to reach your success. So that's what my music is mainly about now. It's all about finance. It's about ownership. It's about taking back control, and in the way of where it's not hurting or dooming someone else or hurting or dooming yourself, but bettering yourself and bettering everyone else around you, and let them know that just because you're from a ghetto or from a bad part, you can still make it to movies. You can still be in Wakanda or Black Panther or whatever you want to call it. And that's all my music is mainly about. And that's all literally what I teach now every day. I'm working on a book as well. The book will explain that too more in depth because, music is only 3 to 6 minutes long, but a book can be a whole day or a whole life. So
That's awesome, JARRELL. Thank you so much for being an awesome citizen of the world. We need more people like that. And tell us more about the turning point. What happened? What was your big aha moment? And what did you do in it?
Well, I always loved my grandparents. I mean, I love my father and my mother, of course, but my grandparents impacted me so much. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to show my grandfather, because as he was getting older, and please guys, keep him in prayers. He's fighting COVID right now. He's 80. How old am I? 83. He's 50 years older than me. He's 83. I wanted to show him his receipt. He put the change and the money into me as a child to keep me off the streets. And my goal was just to show him the receipt. So I wanted to become better. So after high school, I would say football, honestly, changed my life. But I wanted to give to my grandpa before he left this earth. I wanted him to see me becoming success of what I did think of success is.
Right. And I'm sure he's already proud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for being on today. And then we're also going to go to Jason and we'll let him introduce himself and tell us maybe how he learned about the Project Creative Society, because he is the definition of what a volunteer stands for and what one person can do.
Again, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Gerald, for your story. Actually, I have a lot of parallels to your story and your background and upbringing, and you know, like I said, there's a lot of parallels there regarding street life and you know, one's definition of success, and then changing that definition and then giving back. In a gist, you can get from that that's kind of my background as well. But how I found out about the Creative Society was actually through one of our wonderful hosts here. When they were doing a conference, I became acquainted with the project. And, you know, in the country we live in, we aspire to these ideals that are the Creative Society format. So it seemed like a no-brainer to me. And growing up in the streets, actually, you always feel like, even if you tried to change something, that it was just like society itself that was the problem. Like there was always like this big overshadow that you just couldn't change. And so when I seen the 8 foundations, it was like, it was all in, you know, 100% investment, because it's the only way to change things is starting from valuing human life. So like I said, that's a no-brainer to me. If we can value human life, then everything can change. So thank you for having me.
Thanks for being with us today. And yeah, that's a very deep thought, actually, about what Jarrell started with. The definition of success, it's not something objective. It's what you're being told, and you aspire to someone else's goals from your childhood. But there was this deep thought I heard a couple of weeks ago when the guy said, imagine living in a society where success is measured by the amount of improvements you've made to the society, to the life of the others. And I was like, wow, that would be creative society, basically. Yeah, guys, super awesome having you with us, and let's kick it off with our first video. Yeah, so this first video we're gonna watch is gonna be about food and about the problem of food. You know, in today's society, we always hear about hunger. We hear that United Nations is collecting billions of dollars, trying to get them out of some billionaires on Twitter, even like bullying billionaires on Twitter to get money of them to feed people. At the same time, 1/3 of the food produced in the world is being destroyed on purpose to keep the prices of the food high enough on market to make some extra profit.
Did you know that 1/3 of produced consumable food is being destroyed in landfills? Luxurious fashion houses are burning out, unsold clothes costing billions of dollars. Thousands of unsold cars are rotting in parking lots, while 811 million of people are starving, and billions of people are living in extreme poverty. We've created a world of poverty by abundance. Sounds weird, but the economic game has far crossed the line of absurdity. It's high time we all get out of this game. Visit Creative Society Project to find out how.
Well, before we visit Creative Society to find out how, let's talk about the food and how we waste it. So, Jarrell, have you heard about overconsumption and that we just dump like normal eatable food into the wasteland?
Well, I haven't heard about it on that level, but I have heard about it. And I'll give you an example. Say, for instance, you order something at, and this is not a place I go to, but my son does. Like you order something at McDonald's, right? And they let's just do Starbucks because I do that more. I like Starbucks. I'm a coffee guy. So you go to Starbucks, right? And they give you a drink wrong. Instead of them giving you both, or they throw it away, or like giving it to someone else, because in that same Starbucks, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, there are homeless people that go in the Starbucks, these restrooms. So instead of them giving it to the homeless person or giving it to someone else, they'll just throw it away. And that's just on that level. I've seen it in McDonald's. I've seen it with everything. So I could totally understand and see how society itself has designed the individual to do it, because the whole major markets are doing it. So that's crazy. I didn't know it was on that level, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Jason, what about you?
Oh, I've been aware that it's been on that level since I deployed to Afghanistan. But actually, Gerald brought up a good point, because when I first started out in the service industry, I worked at KFC, and we used to throw out hundreds of pounds of food a week. And come to find out, like, you couldn't just give it to homeless people. It's the same thing. Like, they don't allow you to give deer meat to the homeless people. And so that's the absurdity of our society right now, right? So, like, if you're homeless, you want to figure out when a restaurant is throwing its food out, because you'll eat luxuriously out of the garbage can. But we can't set up a program, or we can't give these things. It's just like he said, they'll throw it out because they can't make a profit off of it. And so it's insane, actually. Like, that to me is insanity.
Yeah, and actually it doesn't make sense either, because it's trying to be all green, and we use the recyclable, but that you cannot recycle something that was just had a hot liquid in. You cannot recycle it. Like, you cannot. So why have two bins, one recyclable and one not, when they all go into one bag?
Right.
Lots of questions.
And what's crazy, I also feel like, well, if we go on the capitalist mindset of it, they're doing it as write-offs. So basically,
that's right.
They're getting more money than what the item was even worth. Even with the cars, they're getting more money on that than what it was even worth. So it was like, well, why not? And it's terrible.
Not just that.
Sure. And then we also have hunger, right? Like, how come we have hunger if we have enough food and we have enough of everything? Like, what is the problem? Why do we have overconsumption but not enough food?
I think it's the lack of awareness, that people aren't aware that we don't have policies in place to reduce these inefficiencies. Right. These ideas are pushed down our throats for those companies to make profits. But as far as like the end game or what happens with these things, people aren't aware of it. You literally have to go out and learn these things yourself.
Yeah. It's like you have to the thing is, you have to wake up. The thing is it took me a while to wake up, but if you don't wake up, you don't see it. And the thing is how can you wake up if you don't know there's nothing to wake up to or wake up
right.
from? And that's what a lot of the school system, and I hate to say that, because I love education, and I love the idea of a school, but the way our society designed our schools is to keep us in this level of where, like a glass ceiling, like you can't see above it. You can only go here, and then until you can find a way to get above that glass ceiling, like find a way to get out of the matrix, that's when you can see it and understand and accept it, because someone can tell you, and if you don't accept it, it means nothing.
Yeah,
right.
It's like
some kids don't even know that the tomatoes are actually growing in the garden. Like, some people think they grow on the shelf of a grocery store. Right. That's how sad the educational system is. You're really not meant to be thinking outside the box. And the box is where we put you, because we want you to continue living as a consumer and continue consuming and not ask questions. Because when you do, like you said, you wake up and you say, wait a second. What's going on?
Right. Like, what is a garden? I don't even know what that is.
Exactly.
Like,
where is one? Right Where can I go visit one?
Like, a garden? What is that?
Is that a new movie? Is that a new crypto? That
actually sounds like a good creative society movie. The Garden.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So let's watch the second video and see what reactions we can get there as well.
Free energy is everywhere. Energy is what underlies all material life. Can energy be accessible and free for all? Before 1880, people enjoyed free energy. In the 19th century, there were electric trams all over the world with wireless power supply, powered by free energy. Wireless lighting was also used at this time.
Hello.
In 1928, Nikola Tesla patented a UFO, and at the end of his life he developed a plan for a spacecraft engine. In 1959, Otis T. Carr filed a UFO patent and seriously considered sending his spacecraft to the moon. Alexander Wagers in 1945 patented a UFO, a discopter, and also proposed the concept of a flying city. Even in the Middle Ages, many scientists knew that the ether is a source of free energy and developed ways to obtain it. These are Giordano Bruno, René Descartes, Christian Huygens, Isaac Newton, Leonard Euler, Mikhail Lomonosov. Many references to the ether can be found in the works of scientists of the 19th century. In his work, An Attempt Towards a Chemical Conception of the Ether, Mendeleev substantiated that the ether is a single chemical basis for all planets and galaxies, a single plan for building worlds. And all chemical elements are formed from the ether, which Mendeleev called newtonium. But at the beginning of the 20th century, all these technologies were suddenly withdrawn from general use, and the purposeful destruction of the ether theory began in science.
That's crazy. Okay, Jarrell, what do you know about free energy and why you think it was taken away?
That's deep. They say history repeats itself. I definitely see this happening again with Elon Musk and what he's trying to accomplish. And that was kind of deep. Well, I mean, it's the thing is right now there's a whole thing about global warming, right? I don't know. I don't know a lot about that.
Okay, what's your feelings tell you about global warming?
Let us know your gut feeling.
I feel like global warming is coming more from electric. And I feel like that only because, like, for instance, with the lithium battery, it requires water. And that is affecting our society, our country, our world. So in I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to find a way, because this is how the government is. They're trying to find a way to make us feel bad about global warming, to make you have to pay for the electricity. Electric. I'm getting somewhere here, and I mean maybe
you are.
But it's there. I haven't really thought that much.
The money.
But I felt
you got 50% of the picture. Yeah, 50% of the picture is right there.
The way my brain works is I conduct a puzzle. Now there's many bits and pieces, and I'm trying to connect the dots. It's like an FBI agent or something, Like I watch a lot of Criminal Minds. But I think what they're trying to do is find a way for us to pay more for electricity, because they want the common folk to feel bad about electricity, because electricity will affect global warming. But if they keep on pushing the whole global warming, because it's all I hear. No one cares about finances anymore. Like all the Fed meetings and Joe Biden, everyone is talking about global warming. So now seeing that in my brain, I'm thinking why do they keep pushing global warming? But it only makes sense because they don't want electricity to be free. They want you to have to pay for it, because it's going to affect global warming if we just give it away for free. I feel like that's, I don't know, maybe you can clarify more, but this is what I'm feeling. So I feel like they shut that down on purpose, because at this time, if that would have still went as it was going to, as still conduct many things for society that won't affect global warming. They're so worried about global warming messing up population. I think it's messing up depopulation, because I think that's the biggest fear. No one talks about depopulation, because it's a whole world. This world is massive. I'm sorry, I've taken up a lot of time.
No,
go ahead. This is awesome.
This is where I'm at, man. I sound a little nerdy, but
I love it.
It's a big world here. Overpopulation is not a possibility anytime within me, kids, maybe another kid's lifetime. But they're worried that they're trying to say global warming is going to kill the population, but it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. That's
all right, Jason, put it all together for us.
Yeah, connect it for me. If you
Come on, Jason.
Let's put it all together. No, I was just going to say it's interesting. And, for those that watch this, I'd like for us all to keep in mind that it's 2022. So prior to 2001, you had to go to a library, right, and use the decimal system, the filing system, and you had to look up information. There was no YouTube. There was no Google that, as the colloquial terminology we use is Google that stuff, right? There was none of that. So it's really understandable, as you said earlier, history repeats itself, that it's easy for them to remove information until the questions become overwhelming, and then the stuff has to come back out, which is actually what we're seeing today. When I first seen that video of the electric, I had to go back and verify it myself. I was like, there is no way they had wireless transmission lines. There's no way. And sure enough, there was newspaper articles after newspaper articles and the presentation of the technology. And of course, everyone knows Nikola Tesla's name, but greed only gets you so far, you know, and one has to ask who owns that technology today. I mean, that's one of the big mysteries, is where did, I think, 2 or 3 cases of his information disappear to? Who's got it? Mm-hmm. And to bring it all together, first and foremost, it's all a business. Mm-hmm. It's a business. You can only pull the sheets over people's eyes when they're ignorant. And thankfully today, because of the feared term of globalism, I think we're all able to communicate this way. Here we are on Zoom right now, so we're able to share ideas and information, and they multiply, and many experiences are brought to the table. Otherwise, you would have to be in a sort of advantaged position to go to a different society or go to a different country to find out these things, because you sure as heck aren't finding out about this in the United States unless you were privy to it. It's just facts.
I also feel like they're making us like the way they're putting the gas up, they're making you have to go get electric cars. I feel like they're making us dependent on electric, so when they rip it from us, it's like when they rip the rug from us, we just fall flat because all we knew was electric. Because if they did what they did in, and they take it from us after we got so dependent on it, it's like we become it's a drug. We're like fiending for a hit, you know.
If you pay attention to the movie industry, you know, like they've been preparing people for that for a while, like surviving without electricity. Like it's yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, okay, Tesla cars are cool. What's not? But if you live in Michigan, your battery dies in like 1 hour. You have to charge your car for 3 days. Like, is this a really good alternative for us?
Good luck finding a charging station in the Midwest. Like, it's so hard to find a charging station unless you want to charge at your home. But if you charge at your home, that's a whole nother electricity thing in itself.
And a $2,000 installation.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, with the free energy, I'm sure, like, if we still had free energy, we would be far, far ahead of what we are now. So right now we are kind of playing with the rocks and sticks, but like, really, if we dream big and say, but what if we did have free energy? Like, will we be traveling to another country or to another planet? Like, what?
You'd be traveling to a whole nother planet, you know. But like in terms of the way things are now, you know, it stops people from asking, do I deserve better? And thinking about what that better would look like, and making plans. For example, cities around it. We take these electric vehicles, but if you go to Chicago, right? Chicago's transport system is garbage. Okay, but you go to Austria, you go to Austria, right? In Vienna, it is phenomenal. You are not waiting 1 minute before catching the next buggy, right? And you're able to move throughout all 26 blocks, I think, seamlessly, no problem. And people here don't know that. They don't know that that's a possibility. It's like not even imagined that you can have a transport system that can move you from place to place. So they want to keep you restricted. You know? Right.
So you can buy that car. So you can buy the house in the neighborhood that's far away from the job or whatever the deal is. So it's another way to control us.
It's definitely a domino effect. One thing affects another that'll affect another. And it's like, that's why I stick to a good old fashioned F-150 gas guzzler.
But you know, guys, like, someone is very, very smart. Like, someone at some point said, the people are so stupid that they don't realize the technology we're giving them. We can make money off of them. So let's pull that technology out. And the advantage we have right now is, before we were not as connected as a global community, but now we have all the technology we can use to say, hey, look, we're not stupid anymore. We can communicate to each other. We can tell each other what's going on, and we can actually benefit the whole society, the whole global society, with the advances and technologies we develop. We just have to do it not for profit, but we have to do it for the benefit of human beings.
Well, see, the only problem with that is you're correct. Everyone is wiser now. We're more smarter now. However, there's still that elephant that we just cannot stop. And that elephant is what's keeping us separated. It's the idea of racism. And racism not as in like prejudice, racism as a sense of every race has its own race to run. So we are still stuck in the ideology of racism where it's like, well, let me have my race beat this race before this race versus us coming together as the human population and putting all our minds together, because, you know, a mind with 1,000 is way stronger than a mind with 5.
Especially diversified, right? So
we have
the more diversity is better.
Right. So we have definitely diversity because we have different train of thoughts. But now we have the media outlets that separate us. You got all this war, you got all this crime, you got all this stuff that just doesn't make sense if you're not paying attention to it. That's trying to separate it. Like, I don't like you because you look that way, or I don't like you because you don't know where I'm from. Versus, well, how can I benefit from you? How can you benefit from me? What can we teach each other? How can we grow and become a better society?
For sure, yeah.
Artificial division, divide and conquer. I feel like that's been the motto of the, you know, anti-humane motto for past thousands, at least 6,000 years.
It's probably one of the most overused Sun Tzu tactics from The Art of War, you know?
And it works.
Divide and conquer.
It works, yeah. Why not use it?
It's still working. I don't understand. Like,
yeah, I think we need to be at the tipping point of like, hey, how do we make the change happen? Because we all realizing like this is not working out for any of us. Right. Not someone who is born into money, not someone who is, you know, made the money. It's like it's all about the money, but at the end of the day, like, are people with money happy? Like, that, I mean, that's probably not the case. Like, probably they don't go to sleep afraid.
By a conversation, that's how it changes. It changes by a conversation, and letting the people and your immediate influence and your familial surroundings tell them they're important. You know, let them know they're important and remind them that they are one of 8 billion people on this pale blue dot, and we're one family. I mean, it's
and create the society, like for real, create a better society. I just tied it back home. Yeah, create a better society. But you know, this definitely is not United States. It's more like divided states of America. So we have to make it a United States again, you know?
For sure, yeah. And to make it happen, we all have to have a goal. Right now, the goal is very, like, I have a goal, you have a goal, someone else has a goal, but those goals are like very selfish goals and very projectable goals. Like the society wants you to do that, but you can do that. But if we all come together as United States, we have to have one goal and strive towards that one goal.
Sometimes all of those goals are the same. They're just different. Kind of like religions. Like there's an ultimate goal of having good morality. There's just a different way to go about it. But at the end of the day, we all eat the same endpoint. It's the same end game. Like, so if we can find a way to interchange where we can work together to help each other reach the same end game, that's where things happen. That's where change starts.
Yeah. That's exactly what you started from, the vision of success. Is it really success, or is it somewhere you're going to get and then like, oh, it was a false vision of success?
Right.
And another topic that you just brought up in the very beginning of your answer was climate change, or as you put it, global warming. Well, let's take a look at our third short clip, and I believe this one is going to be exactly about that.
Just said that, yeah. I can't believe she said it. When you hear them say it out their mouth like black and white, it's like, is anybody watching this, or am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, is this real?
No one ever did. Somehow they do not include themselves in this, like, you know, crazy out of this world ideas.
Yes.
They don't value human life at all.
Like, she said this live in front of these people and on camera, and I'm thinking like, wow, that's how she thinks